Hello and welcome to the Nuclear Reactor, and today we'll be reacting to part 11 of What If Gine Turned Good. What if Gine came to Earth with Goku. Sorry, I just watched What If Cell Turned Good. Hope y'all are enjoying my reactions. As you can see, I'm dead tired. It's almost 4 in the morning, but I hope y'all enjoy my reactions. And let's get moving on to this.
Gine's got a big dilemma to face. Is this the end for Dragon Ball's strongest mama?
Why would that be?
Hey guys, MasakoX here. It doesn't feel all that long ago since we last touched upon the adventures of one of the more popular scenarios that
it was just last week for me.
Channel. In essence, this story doesn't need much of an introduction like most of our stories do, because it's one of your favourites. A surprise favourite, in fact, given that the subject matter of this tale came from a manga chapter from 2014 that was seen as one of the most, let's say, iffy outings to have ever been penned by the creator of the show himself. Out of all of this muddled confusion from the story, we managed to actually get the answers solved as to the identity of Goku's mother. So that is one big plus. After 30 years of not knowing, Gine was introduced to us, and we all fell in love with her pretty much instantly, and understandably so. She deserved protection from the woes of the world, but she never got that in the original story. You know what happened with Bardock? Her destiny was set, just like her bows. But what if it wasn't? What if she got the chance to travel with her son Kakarot and go with him to Earth to find a place to claim sanctuary? This story is the result of mixing Dragon Ball Super Broly, Dragon Ball Minus, and the original Dragon Ball story together to make something that could be a good compromise of all the three. The Broly bit has been added in post the introduction of the story, but we could easily add it in given how similar it is to Minus, only just more detailed than the original comic given the runtime in comparison to just 20 pages of manga to pass from. Gine's butt saved the day, as she was settling her son down into a Saiyan pod to bid him adieu, and she didn't realise she was going to be joining him for the ride to Earth. And also into the safety of Grandpa Gohan. From there, Gine realised something. She was pretty strong despite being told for years that she was no more than just a preparer of meat for the Saiyan warriors that returned from their duties. She was able to deal with King Piccolo after all, and, there was no contest. That part of the story never ceases to amaze me. After that, we saw Gine match her son's potential, making us realise where part of Kakarot/Goku's power came from. Her kind heart and belief in her skills was also plain to see, and plain to see where it ended up with the main character of Dragon Ball excelling with his mother present especially, resulting in Frieza's decimation far earlier than it was in the original. Namek was totally safe. In the last part, we touched upon the Garlic Jr. saga a little more than usual to celebrate the story's 10th part. Yeah, 10 parts. Been a long time coming. However, the biggest news to have come out of that part was that Raditz was back, everybody's favourite on this channel, and he had taken to freedom very well by undoing all of his nefarious actions as part of the Frieza Force and becoming a freedom fighter, to which he found great pleasure. However, he found even greater pleasure in being able to be around his mother and brother for the second time and for much longer than the other time. The time when he...
I love the family's back together. Minus the tragedy of Bardock.
The time when he was originally meant to escort Kakarot to have a life of servitude under Frieza. Now though, he... Continue the story. Where was I going with this, you may be wondering?
Sorry, I kind of skipped ahead.
Second time, and for much longer than the other time. The time when he was originally meant to escort Kakarot to have a life of servitude under Frieza. Now though, he was free to get solidly confused by the likes of future Trunks, who has come back to the past to deliver the message like in the original about the android menace that will come in 3 years' time on May 12th, 9 miles out of South City. Everybody is ready to handle the androids that will arrive in 3 years' time, like I said. That is, except for Gine. And so, we continue the story. Where was I going with this, you may be wondering? Well, I get the feeling that Gine had planned to retire from fighting after Namek and go back to a life of peace with Grandpa Gohan. After all, she had loved that time on Earth, that 15-year period when she actually got there to when King Piccolo came around, when she could just train her son for fun. and bonding with him, and not worrying about having to go all out or risking any lives. The arrival of King Piccolo, though, pushed her into the foreground quite reluctantly. And even though she realised her potential and what she could actually do, she was stronger than she thought she was, it wasn't the ideal life that she wanted. She wanted to forget about the Frieza Force and just spend the rest of her days living and being. Her getting punted into the Saiyan pod was a sign for her to just settle down. Granted, her Saiyan nature did rekindle her passion when she realised she could stop Lord Frieza after all. She even had the ability to go Super Saiyan and truly stick it to Frieza for a good long while before her son could come in and finish the job. Together, they proved their worth. She had proved her worth. But what was left to prove now? Her main reason for getting stronger was gone. Frieza was no more. Her race was avenged. Bardock was avenged. Her sons are safe and living right next door. Well, I mean, until Raditz can find a bigger place to counter for his height.
And marry
Simply,
Launch.
she doesn't want to fight
And have
anymore. She
Ranch.
doesn't need to. She's well into her 50s at this point, and even though she still looks and feels as fresh and young as she was when she had her boys nearly 30 years ago, her mind was far more sage than it was back then. She knew it was time to step back and let Kakarot lead the others, and this time there was nothing he could say to make her change her mind. After Raditz has settled in nearby and Kakarot has finished training one day, Gine calls him over to tell him this decision. Kakarot doesn't take to this well at all. Just like before when she mooted this idea like years ago. Kakarot pleads with her to keep training with him. She's a Super Saiyan.
Mom, you're strong like me. You still got fight in ya. Don't you want to prove Vegeta wrong and show him that low-class warriors are more awesome than he thinks they are?
He just doesn't get it. I don't want to prove anything. I've nothing left to prove. I'm not like you, son. I don't fight out of pleasure. You enjoy all this, and it's something I could provide while we were roughly the same in power. You're far stronger than me now. What could I do?
Go Super Saiyan.
Kakarot, listen to me. I am done. I will not fight anymore. Kakarot isn't angry per se, just confused as to why his mother is turning down this opportunity to get stronger still. It just doesn't compute. Kakarot goes to Raditz and seeks guidance. She doesn't? Huh. Well, that's weird. But then again, Raditz thinks to himself, acting like the wise elder brother. She never seemed the fighting type from what I remember. You know, this is before you were actually around. You were just a baby in a nursing pod. Mother was a kind soul whose heart wasn't in battle, but in protecting you. I couldn't stand that when I was little. It felt wrong. I wanted to be like our dad, and so I trod down that path. I guess you were destined to travel down Mother's path. Only, he looks at Kakarot's hair, you decided to travel down both paths instead. In the end, Raditz succeeds in calming down Kakarot, but then Gine comes over and talks to them both, kind of crying a little bit. Please don't be cross with me, boys. I don't mean to cause you any grief. Okay, I will help you. Only on 2 conditions. First, I will train Gohan only. He needs to understand what he is capable of, and Chi-Chi can only do so much these days. That doesn't mean that I will fight the androids, though. I'm just going to prepare the boy. And secondly, keep the prince away from me. Raditz blinks for a second. What? Your prince has been bugging me since we got back to Earth for me to teach him how to go Super Saiyan. I'm sick of it. Here's your problem now. If you take care of that, I will help Gohan. Kakarot thinks about this for a moment. Not keen on Gohan getting to have all the fun, but in the end, he complies. Gine smiles. Thank you for
That's
that.
sweet.
And so, the 3 years are then spent with Kakarot and Raditz training together, with Vegeta joining in a fair bit and enjoying being stronger than Raditz at this point, and Gine spends time with Gohan and Chi-Chi training them. Meanwhile, Grandpa Gohan is watching all of this happen from, his house, because it's right there, and knows that Gine is destined to not get her way entirely. She will be brought into this somehow, someday. In the meantime, Raditz does indeed do what you think he will do, and needs launch. The two of them
Yes! Yay! I'm so happy.
off. But this time around, it's a far more casual affair, since Raditz is too busy training, and also his time in space has made him quite aloof and, prone to just drifting around, not really committing to things. So if you're thinking that Ranch, Daikon, and Mully will show up here, sorry about that. It just...
Masako. I hate you.
wouldn't fit into this story, shoehorning
You're an ass. But I love you anyway.
them in just for the sake of fan service. Launch is okay with this, though. She isn't in the mood to be tied down yet in her life. Having said that, here's some pretty hot stuff, and this Raditz is a lot more bold than the R&R Raditz, I'll leave it at that. 3 years later, and the gang are ready. In that time,
Does
Gohan has
Rancho
become a
eyes?
Super Saiyan, thanks to Gine's training,
Sorry.
as has Vegeta
Oh,
after doing a
God.
mix
I saw my face in the camera. I'm so sorry you had to witness that.
of training on his own and with the other Saiyans, swallowing his pride in exchange for this new power. It was a bitter pill to swallow. What's more important is that Gine made sure that Kakarot took his heart medicine that Trunks left him the day before they were supposed to fight the androids. Kakarot didn't want to take the medicine, thinking that it wasn't important, that this may never happen, they may have changed time and it never, would hurt him. But you know how mothers can be sometimes. She made sure that he took it, and
Good.
ultimately, the heart virus doesn't strike. Or at least it doesn't affect Goku as much as it does in the original. Gine and Grandpa Gohan wish the group good luck, and Kakarot looks to his mother and makes one last remark, which actually kinda stings.
I wish you were coming along too, Mom.
Before flying away. Not even saying bye. Gine starts to well up a little. Not even a bye. What if this was the last time she saw him alive? Grandpa Gohan comforts her. The gang then make their way to Sasebo, where they're meant to strike, and they're met by Yamcha, Tenshinhan, and Bulma, with a baby Trunks in tow. Vegeta is there as well.
Is there a baby
itching
Ranch?
to get the party started, to show off Super Saiyan.
Sorry.
Minutes
I
pass,
like Ranch.
nothing. But then suddenly, the attack begins. But they don't sense any energy. This is gonna be tricky. In the end, sadly, Yamcha still gets a hole in the chest, and the gang then
So, in the end, Yamcha still gets Yamcha. Sounds about right.
spots androids 19 and 20. These are the targets. After moving to a desert location, the fight begins with Goku going Super Saiyan, surprising Dr. Gero, but then the other Saiyan identified as Raditz, from what little intel the androids have on him because he was just there on the planet for a few minutes, goes golden as well. I'll be fighting you, Doctor! Gero wasn't expecting to be fighting right now, but for now, he decides to play along with 19 taking on Goku. The fight goes on, with Goku having the advantage like in the original, but he suddenly starts to feel a little bit winded. Something's wrong. Wait, the heart medicine. It was supposed to stop this from happening, right? Goku's really confused and getting kind of angry. I mean, that's true, it's supposed to stop it, but he should have taken it earlier. Right now, it's still going to play havoc with his ki for a little while. It's enough for 19 to gain the upper hand. But Raditz spots this and aids a hand, relieving the Doctor of his worries. That is, for a split second, there's someone else. Where do you think you're going? Vegeta appears right behind the Doctor, turning Super Saiyan. Oh god, not another one! Gero is then kicked through several rock faces before being set upon by Vegeta again. The fight is arduous, and so far, Gohan hasn't been tested. However, Vegeta is being as barbaric as he was with 19, doing the same thing to Gero when he realizes that they both can absorb energy. He rids the Doctor of his hands because they're a nuisance to him.
Well, then how are 17 and 18 and 16 gonna come into play? 16 is my favorite android. He is so cool. Well, at least in the abridged. I love him. And the birds. The birds are cool too.
And Raditz is leading the charge against 19, who is pretty much a wreck. In the end, both Gero and 19 are destroyed by the 3 Super Saiyans. Gohan is actually a little sad that he didn't get to fight after all. Goku, a little winded, goes,
Ah, don't worry, buddy. You'll get your chance.
and sure enough, he might. Since they don't need to chase after Gero, Trunks arrives at the same spot and spots the group just standing there. What are you guys doing? The androids are gonna get away if you do... Oh, you guys took care of this already. Vegeta scoffs. Yes, and without your help after all. Trunks looks around, surveying the scene, and then spots Gero's disembodied hands and 19's head in the sand. Wait, these aren't the androids. Everybody perks up. What? Exclaims Raditz. These aren't the androids I fought in the future. These are different. Something's happened. As they figure this out, Bulma arrives with Yajirobe and Baby Trunks. Future Trunks spots the baby version of himself and tries to not look at him, to not arouse suspicion. Yet, Raditz and Kakarot let that cat out of the bag, and then this leaves Vegeta stunned for a moment that, two versions of his son are right there. But there's no time to dwell about that. Bulma finds out what happened when the group tell her, and then realizes that this guy's the same Jiro that she knew in the past. She offers to guide the gang over to his lab in the mountains and trying to find more clues and maybe more androids in case the ones that Trunks fought in the future are lurking there.
And then Vegeta's gonna Vegeta it up. How much you wanna bet? Oh, my Saiyan pride.
Try and get the jump on them. As that's going on, something is afoot. A green monster is skulking around the forest, seeking out a very high power level that he discovered somewhere near Mount Palzu. It had been supping off random citizens with low potential, but this...
Cell was already... Oh, okay, that's how...
specimen that he just found could be quite delicious. It may not be its primary targets, but this power is just sitting around doing nothing. Why not?
Gine?
The house is there, and he can sense his prize. It's not too powerful that he can't win, but it's way better food than what he's had up to now. So, he strikes. Gine suddenly feels a strong power, which resembles everyone she knows, bizarrely in some way, outside, and goes out to investigate, and is then leapt upon by Cell. And that's where we're going to be leaving things for right now. You expect a poll right here, to see...
You, my friend, continue to be an ass with these cliffhangers. But I love you, Masako, so I'll let it slide.
See whether you can have a chance of saving her? Nope! You're gonna have to wait until next time. So what do you guys think? Is this the end for Gine? Can the others stop Cell, or are they too transfixed on their other prize? Leave a comment below, and let's get this discussion going. And I shall see you in the next video. Catch you later!
Okay. Well, that's a good way to ruin my night/morning. So, I'm just gonna deal with that and go to bed. Hope y'all enjoyed my reactions. And until next time, we'll get on with the rest of finish up these stories, because we're getting close to finishing this one, though we're not with the perfect Cell. We still got like 6 or 7 more episodes to go with that one, but we're almost caught up with this one, which will allow me to get leveled out good after that. So I'm looking forward to that, because it's kind of stressful trying to do so many reactions within a 5-hour period. But until next time, hope y'all enjoyed that. And on to the outro. I hope y'all enjoyed my reaction. If you like my content, then like and subscribe, please. And follow me on Twitter for video updates. The link will be in the description below. And as always, stay nuclear.